Welcome. My name is Mark Zilke. You know me as Bizman YXC, where I share stories of advocacy, of community, of business, and of politics. And today, I'm with my good friend, Jared Fedorchuk of Levis Tech, and I've asked Jared to get together and share a little bit, not only of Levis Tech, but then his own style of business and why he's in business and how business is going for you. So with that, welcome and good to see you again.
Nice to see you too, Mark.
So, Jared, why don't you just jump right into the deep end? Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and Levis Tech and kind of your philosophy around what you're doing here?
Yeah, sure. So, as you said, my name is Jared Fedorchuk. I am the president of Levis Tech. My background was originally in IT, but I am a self-taught software developer. Levis was about 2.5 years old now. We started off as Levis Media. We were a digital agency that kind of had a bunch of tech projects sprinkled along the side. But over the course of our duration at Levis, we realized that the digital agency space isn't really what our passion is. It is on the tech side of things. So slowly but surely, we started to gravitate from being a to Z digital agency to a tech startup.
Okay, and you've gone through some major changes and adaptations, as we all have. Tell me, one of the things that our viewers are always curious about is how business is adapting and hopefully succeeding in this time of pandemic. And so, how is Levis Tech coming at these issues with COVID-19, but also the uncertainty of what's going to happen moving forward?
Well, given the industry that we're in, I think we've fared better than most. Given the nature of the type of work that we do, it's not like people walk in, do a transaction, and the work is done. Our projects typically go on for weeks, months, sometimes years at a time. So, of course, when COVID came and everyone hit the panic button, our staff were concerned, asking about what the future looked like for us. We generally said, no, don't worry, like everything's going to be fine. Like everyone else, it did affect the top of our sales funnel almost immediately, but the work that we had was ongoing. Now, that was kind of a transition point for us at Levis, because prior to COVID, we did have a lot of big, ambitious tech projects that were more the side things on the back burner that we did whenever we had time. COVID hit, also the top of the sales funnel dried up in the media side of things, and we said, well, this is an opportunity for us. We were looking for an opportunity to pivot. We had these ideas that would be more resilient to the storm that we're all going into, so let's just take the plunge. And we did. We kind of flicked the switch from Levis Media to Levis Tech. We still do some media services, mostly in and around websites. But our path forward really is on the cloud applications that we're developing.
So before we get into the technical opportunities that Levis Tech is bringing to not only our marketplace here in Saskatoon, but in Saskatchewan, and then, of course, much wider and larger scope than just Saskatchewan, what would you say is your personal philosophy on business in Saskatoon, being that you're in a Saskatoon location, but also then with the understanding that you're in a very limited market if you just look at Saskatoon. So help our viewers understand a little bit more about how you come at your business philosophy.
So one of the things that I always strive for as an entrepreneur is I wanted to feel growth in my community. I felt Saskatoon and Saskatchewan is a rather small market, and when you're in some of these businesses where the services are a lot more derivative, it always felt like we were just eating off of somebody else's plate. We kept making more websites, providing more value for companies through marketing services. However, we weren't really growing the economy. It's just the money just keeps getting passed around in different hands. As a business owner, one of the things I want to contribute to is the growth of the community. I want to see Saskatchewan grow. I want to see Saskatoon grow. And in order for that to happen, we have to start providing services outside of the province, outside of the country. So that is where software as a service does have its advantages, because our clients wouldn't just be regionalized. It also gives a lot of opportunity for strategic partnerships, because it just isn't, technology by itself isn't all that valuable. It is put into the hands of other people to solve their problems that provides value. Now, at Levis, we aren't experts in these industries for the problems that we're solving, and this is why we need to partner with like-minded individuals in other industries to see how we can grow the pie together. How can we solve these local businesses' problems so that they get more work and then we get more opportunity ourselves as a tech company and grow together?
So, Jared, when it comes to technology and the products that you're bringing to the market, is there something at Levis Tech that perhaps is coming down the pipe that perhaps people haven't heard about yet, and something that you are absolutely excited to get into the marketplace?
So we're in the process of bringing a new software platform called Levis RM, Levis Resource Management. Levis RM caters to a wide variety of industries. One of them would be vendor-managed inventory, so they can use our software to keep track of how much stuff their clients have at their locations or job sites. Does asset management, compliance tracking across construction, mining, and privately owned medical clinics as well.
Wonderful. And now, are these technologies that you're bringing out, have you already been exploring them with some clients of yours?
Yeah, it's actually been people in these industries that are pushing the software forward. These weren't necessarily ideas that we came up with. It was just through going out into the business community, talking to people, and finding out what their pain points are. So on all of these projects, we do have people within these industries that are helping us figure out how do we identify these pain points? How do we come up with a solution to it? As I said, technology by itself is kind of useless if it isn't solving someone's problem.
So, Jared, you've mentioned these remarkable tech solutions that you're bringing out, and you mentioned the fact that it's actually your clientele, your customers, who are making you aware of what they need help on. In our Saskatoon, but also in our Saskatchewan business landscape, is there something that you think people should really look towards, especially as we still have to navigate times of uncertainty? And also, would there be something that perhaps folks can be encouraged by when it comes to how you have structured Levis Tech and moving forward, how you are going to continue to be profitable and successful? Is there some knowledge point that you would be able to share with our viewers today?
So one thing I've learned about business in general, and this is particular to Levis, is the strength of network, community, and partnerships. The whole mentality that 1 + 1 = 3. And I really find the old way of thinking is everyone would build silos around themselves and they try to operate within their silos and protect themselves. And you can't grow if you're in a silo. You have to go out and you have to talk to people and look for synergies on how you can tackle some of the bigger problems together, especially in a place like Saskatchewan. We are a small population base. We have a very finite amount of resources and businesses at our disposal. But B, because we are small, that works to our advantages. I do find the business community here is very open to having dialogue and discussion. It isn't very difficult to get in front of influential people and key decision makers if you just pick up the phone and give them a call, have a coffee. You'll have the opportunity to dig a little bit deeper into what their problems are. And if you can start to provide value to those problems, then that's where you can grow together, right? So my business grows, your business grows, and it's good for us, it's good for the economy, it's good for the community.
So essentially, then what I hear you saying is it's bigger than self.
Yes.
You have to have an open door policy. One has to understand that it's teamwork that really makes this succeed. Jared, before we wrap up this interview, and I want to thank you for your time today. It's a very, very cold day outside here in Saskatoon today, and yet the conversation is the opposite of that. It's very warm, it's very inviting, and also you're sharing a lot of your knowledge as well with our viewers. What's the best way for people to contact you if they would like more information about Levis Tech and get connected with yourself personally and with your team?
You can check out our website. Right now it's levismedia.com. It's still in the process of being rebranded, but we do have our, there's an email and a phone number there with the contact form. Also on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn way more than I should be. So just connect with me on LinkedIn. Send me a message. I'm always open to grab a coffee, virtually or otherwise.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. This has been remarkable, and congratulations on Levis Tech and your movement from a former business model and now adapting and changing completely to benefit the market and, in fact, grow.
Thanks for coming in, Mark.
Cheers.
Cheers.
With that, another success story here in Saskatoon. I look forward to sharing more about Levis Tech and Jared's role in that. If you have any stories that you want to share with me, get in touch. Just as Jared mentioned, he's on LinkedIn, he's on other platforms. You can find me out in the community on one of our street corners, walking down the street, hanging out with business owners and employees alike. You can also find me over the multitude of social media channels that I operate. Again, thanks for joining us today, and we wish you much success.